Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today we're going to do something a little different. So, for this week, instead of me covering UFC Fight Night 164, which will be headlined by Gabriel Bonfim versus Randy Brown, I'm actually going to be covering a different event. I'm going to be covering 173, which will come to us this Sunday, November 16th. The biggest reason I am doing this week and not the week of is because one of two reasons. One, I find if I do it a week ahead of time, I have a better chance of these videos getting traction and hopefully garnering more attention to the event if I give, like I said, these videos about a week to circulate. Second reason, next week we have UFC 322, Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev, and I really want to put my time and effort on that card or the week of because that card is stacked full of amazing fights. I really want to put my time and effort in giving an accurate prediction. So that's also why I am also doing this. Now, that being said, I will have a video later in the week talking about Bonfim versus Brown and giving my overall prediction on that fight. Probably by Friday or Thursday for sure. But without further ado, let's get down into this. So for 173, this will take place in Japan, as I said, Sunday, November 16th. And this is one of the greatest cards I've ever seen, regardless of organizations. There are 6 title fights. There were originally 8, but 2 of those unfortunately got canceled due to injury. There are 7 MMA fights, 7 kickboxing fights, 1 submission grappling event, 1 submission grappling, and 3 Muay Thai matches. And some of the legends and names on this card are amazing. You have Stamp Fairtex, the return of Superlek, Nabul Anoe, or Luffy, as I like to call him sometimes, Raw Tang, Takeru Usagawara, Yuki Yuza, excuse me, Christian Lee. And then in the headliner, you have Superbone taking on Masaka Noori. Overall, from top to bottom, this card is absolutely amazing. Now, there's technically 16 fights on the card in total, but I'm actually going to be talking about more of the other very important fights on this card. And now, granted, if I'm taking so much time and effort the week before to talk about it, why wouldn't I talk about all the fights? Well, because these fights that I'm talking about have much more attention to them. They have much more divisional relevance, not just title fights, but like I said, the return of some of their legends. And overall, I just find these are the fights to really watch out for. One more note before I really dive into it. The order in which I'm breaking down these fights is a little wonky. Tabology does not really have a proper order. In fact, some title fights are below non-title fights, which doesn't make much sense. Usually the kitty really wants to be in the video today. As well as Wikipedia has it in a different order. In fact, even One Championship's website has it in different orders. So I kind of did the best I could in terms of giving you a proper order. So bear with me on that. But without further ado, let's break down the first fight. In this first one, we have Suakim taking on Jack Peacock. Suakim is 108-25 as a professional, and that's across Muay Thai and his kickboxing records. While Peacock is 14-1 as a professional. So you can already see a huge gap in experience and an overall number of fights. But I guarantee you this is going to be a lot closer than you might think just based off the records alone. For Suakim, he is a longtime veteran of Muay Thai, former Lumpini Stadium champion. That's usually how a lot of these Muay Thai fighters, regardless of nationality, get into ONE FC, is through Lumpini Stadium, which garners a lot of the best fighters, especially from Thailand. For Suakim, he is more of a fundamental Muay Thai striker. Very good at plants his feet very well, keeps a solid stance with that signature Thai hop. And usually you notice in a lot of these more traditional Muay Thai strikers, they kind of throw their combinations in a sort of pattern. They throw their jab, there's a bit of a beat, cross, a bit of a beat, then end it with a leg kick. And then from there, there's kind of this pause in their combinations in comparison when you see a kickboxer, for example, where their combination is all one fluid motion. Now, that's not true for all Thai fighters, but that is generally like the old school way of Thai striking. And Suakim is a master of it. He's got a pretty good chin overall. He has definitely taken some damage over the course of his career. I mean, the man has had 133 fights. He's bound to get dropped in one of them. And that is true. He has. But he has pretty good recovery. And is able to use the clinch very effectively. To stave off some of the damage, whether that is going for the Thai plum 50-50 or getting like an underhook and then an overhook as well, keeping a lockdown as well, and while kneeing the body. Just whatever he needs to like, how do I want to say this? Take as much time as he needs to recover without getting swarmed by his opponent. I'd say overall he's more of a mauy mat, which basically means he is a classic pressure fighter. Her good boxing combination, forward pressure, a very aggressive style of fighting. In Thai, you have few different styles, like I said, mauy mat, mauy femur. There's a few other ones. And what I would seeing Suakim is more of a mauy mat. He fights on his front foot a lot. Now, he does sometimes fight off his back foot, and he can do it well. But I would say his best combinations and best work definitely comes from when he is the one pressing forward. And then you do also have your well-rounded Thai strikers, which I'll get to in just a second. Overall, like I said, Suakim, pretty effective. I would say there's one thing I'm not the biggest fan of in his style. I feel like he is open a little defensively. Like, he doesn't keep his hands up all the time. And I feel like he relies a little too much on his chin to kind of take a shot to give a shot. Now, generally speaking, he can kind of outlast his opponents and has done so on numerous occasions. You can honestly, I'll say this, breaking down these fights, it is a lot easier to break them down than UFC because a lot of their fights are on one's YouTube channel and is very good for tape study. So you can watch all these fighters that I'm talking about. You can watch a lot of their fights to just kind of see their style in which I'm talking about. But overall, Suakim, very good. Now, for Jack Peacock, if you've ever watched this guy, he's amazing. What's crazy is he has one arm. To be more precise, his right arm. It's only from the elbow to the shoulder. He doesn't have a right forearm. He wasn't born with one. But you be forgiven to think. Let me be very clear on something. Just because he has one arm does not mean he cannot kick your ass. He is fucking good. Jack Peacock is a well-rounded Muay Thai fighter. He can fight off the front foot. He can fight off the back foot. He can use all of his weapons effectively. It doesn't matter what distance the fight is or what the tempo of the fight is, whether it's a brawl, whether it's a tactical, shot-for-shot fight, whether it's like I throw a combo, you throw a combo, we kind of go back and forth. That's how some of these Thai fights go, or kickboxing fights. It does not matter for Peacock. He can fight a Muay Thai fight in just about any setting. And what's interesting is how effectively he uses his I don't want to call it a stump. I don't want to be disrespectful like that. And I don't want to say disability because it's not a disability for him. He uses what he's been given to an unbelievably great effect. You can kind of see in his right, I'm just going to call it elbow. It has because there's not that much, length to it. It has a really unique guard, as he'll kind of keep his hands up like this, but his right elbow will be so compact and close to his head, he's able to kind of retract it to say block left hooks very effectively and quicker than, if you normally had two arms where you kind of throw a punch, you have to retract a lot more of, the length of your arm. Instead, he just has to retract it much quicker. He actually also hits people with his left elbow. And I gotta say, that thing has to hurt like hell. That is solid bone hitting people in the face, and it's not padded whatsoever. So it's basically no different than him hitting you with the elbow. The only difference is it has more of a jousting motion, just like stabbing motion. Another thing Peacock does very well, which I love watching, is his ability to never get swayed into brawls. Now he can't. Now he can, and he has a few times fired off long combinations looking for the knockout. But typically speaking, his opponents don't draw him into it. Peacock's the one who initiates it, and Peacock also has a system that no matter what his opponent does, he has an answer. Whether his opponent is trying to fight on the outside, he's just going to use his teep kicks from range. He's got, I would say Peacock has for sure great range with his kicks, especially his teeps, as he sometimes throws them out like jabs instead of, his left hand. And then let's say an opponent like throws out a leg kick, no setup, he comes in with a downward left to make him pay and kind of just crashes into them. Then if Peacock's opponents want to get in close, he has good quarter turns, side steps, ability to just move out of the way while also making them pay with, kicks or stinging jabs, or even crash into his opponent and use the clinch, hit him with his right elbow, left elbow, doesn't matter. Or Peacock's very good at punishing his opponents that way. And last but certainly not least, I would say Peacock's leg kicks are very good. He's good at setting everything up from the leg kick. And sometimes he doesn't even need to follow them up. He'll just throw them out there from space and start chewing at his opponent's legs. Basically, Peacock's style, I would say, is frustration and the ability to set the fight on his terms. The best way I could put it for those of you who say watch boxing, right? It's kind of like Floyd Mayweather. For Floyd Mayweather's fights, the first few rounds, like rounds 5 and 6, you basically have an opportunity to win if you can win those rounds. Because as the fight continues, Mayweather makes his reads, and from there he eventually has you figured out from your tells, how you set your rhythm, basically what your best weapons are, and from there kind of just takes apart those little by little. Peacock roughly does the same, and where the first round is probably his opponent's best chance to beat him. But then from onward, Peacock's fight IQ, his mid-fight adjustments, and his ability to set the tempo and rhythm of the fight, eventually it's the snowball effect. And once it starts rolling, his opponents are going to have less and less of an opportunity to get the fight back from them. But even then, Peacock often wins the first round by being so effective on the outside and forcing his opponents to come to him. Now, how I see this fight going, I'm going to go with Jack Peacock. I think overall, technically speaking, I think he's actually going to be the superior fighter. Defensively, he's much more sound, as he doesn't get hit as much as Suakim. And while Suakim might have the power edge, and for sure, if I can think of a fighter who's going to be the toughest challenge in Peacock's career, it's going to be Suakim. I mean, this is the most veteran opponent he's fought, and the best opponent he's fought to this date. Best opponent Peacock has fought to this date. But I just think Peacock overall is more defensively sound. I think he's going to find the openings on Suakim, and I think he's going to frustrate Suakim for vast portions of the fight. I mean, they only have like 9 minutes to work, right? It's a 3-minute rounds in Muay Thai. So I think while Suakim will probably start out aggressive and try and pressure Peacock and give no room to breathe. Peacock's fought very well under pressure before, and he has the system to beat it. It make his opponents come to him and make them pay for their lack of defense or leaving openings, or those teep kicks, and just giving his opponents traffic. Overall, I just think Peacock has too much of a well-built system that's going to slowly break apart Suakim. So my official prediction, I'm going to go with Jack Peacock. I'm going to pick him via decision. But that being said, that's been my breakdown of this fight. If you like this video, leave a comment and subscribe. I want to know what you think. As a part of this channel, I want to do is also cover big boxing fights as well as one championship and these type of fights. So if you like this video, let me know. Oh, and see what else I can do to make it better. Next up, we will have Stamp Fairtex taking on Kana Morimoto. Until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. Take care.